Another Halo event, another set of high-quality plays to break down. Just last weekend was Redbull Rise Till Dawn, a Halo 3 2v2 tournament that took place in the 99th floor of the Willis Tower, Chicago. Cool thing about the event is it started Saturday evening, went through the night till the dawn of the next day. So these guys were up all night long playing Halo, and of course some of the best Halo players were in attendance. If you missed it, you want to check out the VOD, I've got links in the description to do so. But for today's video, we're going to showcase some of my favorite plays. So let's not waste any time, let's break them down.
Still, of course, a lot of work to do in the match. Penguin with quite a full sniper rifle as well. Saintly's tucked into the flag with 2 rockets left, and Haynes with that sniper rifle with about 10 shots left.
That's interesting how Penguin and crew backs away from this. I felt like they kind of had him trapped where they wanted them. You know what I mean? If you knew where both players are at and you knew they're in those spots, why wouldn't you just kind of keep that squeeze and let one of them poke out? Instead, reverted all the way back over towards his training, which makes 0 sense. So I think there was either a misunderstanding there that they didn't know where both players were at, or what are these rocket combos we're seeing today, bro?
That was easily one of the nastiest custom combos I've ever seen with the rocket launcher, but let's set up the play first. You got Penguin on training, you've got Joe Trippy pushing up from underneath onto blue base. Meanwhile, Saintly has the rockets and he's hiding somewhere in the blue flag, and then you have Haynes with the sniper somewhere over in the Needler hallway. Now, they have better power weapons, but as far as positioning goes, Penguin has a way better position on the map. He's got higher ground, he's got Banana beside him with even higher ground, and he's got better angles to take out players. Meanwhile, Saintly with the rockets trapped in blue base is not a very good position to be. It's going to be hard for him to get out of there and into a spot where he can actually do work with the rocket launcher. On top of that, you got a dilemma too. The OS is coming up at about 550, and they're in the perfect spot to take advantage of it. So I kind of understand and agree with Walshy's commentary in that they back up a little bit too far here. If they kind of hold this area, hold those angles, the fact that OS is coming up is a dilemma that's going to encourage Saintly and Haynes to push out, and he might be able to get a nice free shot as a result. But he backs up. Maybe he thinks that there's going to be a flank through the long haul here. They're getting ready for OS, so he puts himself in this position, but that also gives Haynes an opportunity to get an angle with the sniper. They almost take each other out here. He misses the shot. Regardless, Trippy will grab that OS for free, so it's not so bad. He'll get up and grab an angle. Now, this should have been a headshot right here. Definitely should have been a headshot. Now, first off, I like the thought process between Saintly and Haynes here. They react to this situation by splitting their resources and creating a perimeter so they can pinch with the power weapons later on. You got Haynes with the sniper over on Needler, where he has safe angles and can fire shots and take the aggro, while Saintly tries to be sneaky and make his way over to tower where he can use the rocket launcher way more effectively. I don't know if I agree with how he pushes here. He has no BR out. He's not ready. If he had his BR pointed at training, at least he'd be ready to fire shots to descope Penguin if necessary, but he gets lucky. Penguin expects that Saintly is ready for this, and he doesn't go for a hard scope. He waits to try to quick scope him instead, which is a harder shot, so he narrowly misses. If Penguin was hard scoping here, Saintly didn't fire a single shot to stop him. That would have been a free headshot, but he gets lucky, and the follow-up is beautiful. Haynes pushes up, he takes the aggro. Saintly, taking advantage of the fact that Haynes is pushing up, is going to push from underneath and jumps up onto that yellow ledge, a perfect spot to be from that high ground. He's got protection. Penguin can't see him. Nades can't hurt him. Of course, in this situation, Trippy has the OS. A single rocket isn't going to kill him as well, and the trick with the rockets we know is not to fire at the player, is to fire at the environment around the player, and I love this from Saintly. One into the floor, and this is why Halo physics is so damn beautiful. It sends him sailing up into the air, and on reaction, fires a second shot into the wall to take him out with a custom combo like a freaking fighting game, dude.
Long tournament. Look at this play, though.
Oh my
Are you kidding
God.
me? That's some Super Smash Brothers shenanigans. Just bopping him up there with a double rocket and smashing him off.
By the way, speaking of rocket plays, here's something you don't see too often. Boo Boo's going to push up, try to grab this rocket launcher. Watch him fire this shot. It bounces up into the ceiling, gets redirected by the nade explosion. And that's something I love about the rockets in these games, is if there's an explosion that happens before that rocket connects, it'll send it flying outwards. And this is the same type of thing as the gravity hammer in Halo 3. So it makes me think, like, what if there was some sort of a weapon in Halo Infinite that took a lot of skill to wield, that allowed you to deflect rockets that wasn't quite as powerful as a gravity hammer or as inconsistent as trying to time a nade explosion? Might be a cool addition to the Halo sandbox. I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know.
And trying to throw a grenade in. Somehow doesn't reach any sort of...
Whoa! That is a rocket redirect and a half as it takes a full 90-degree turn into the ceiling.
We also had some pretty nerdy rocket angles as well. Check this one out and take notes. Trippy's pushing up on tower. We got Saintly waiting for him at the top of the tower. How would you realistically shoot an effective rocket from this situation? He's on lower ground. Saintly has higher ground. He's got all this geometry in the way, but watch this rocket. Bam, through the freaking hole in the corner of the tower. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier, but there it is right here. Through the hole, it's going to hit the wall. Splash damage is going to knock off his shields, and then he retaliates perfectly. He goes up on top for the highest ground he can get, so he can finish him off from a position of advantage. It drops down with the headshot. I love Walshy's commentary here, so let's play that up.
Trying to push on the back ramp. It's going to be Saint who's back. What a great rocket.
Oh my God. Hitting it through that small little gap to the back rocket ramp or back snipe ramp, that's unheard of.
A lot of splash damage.
First off, what I'm guessing is that happened accidentally at some point, or somebody randomly saw the angle and was like, oh my God, I found the best rocket angle as you charge from the top turret.
Another player who used this area creatively was Fantasy. Here's a scenario. Did you predict there's a player on Needler, but you're looking for a sneaky angle for a first shot opportunity? Well, look no further.
Years and years of professional Halo 3 and professional Halo. Oh. Great shot from Fantasy from top turret through that. Oh, and he's shooting bodies as well.
And another thing about Fantasy, you probably don't want to get in his way when he's got a sniper rifle. This dude has no mercy.
Gabriel not in position to help right there. Nice short lift coming in. Oh, Fantasy.
That's the game.
Giving Roy the business right there. 20 seconds left with Gabriel hiding over towards the sword and Fantasy over there, S2 ripping faces. That should do it there for Lunchbox and Roy. Another 6 snipe to add it to the replay. Nice job from Fantasy. Are you kidding me?
Man, that was just rude. You gonna do Lunchbox and Roy like that? Let's take a look. First off, take notes on the fact that Roy actually goes for a short lift here, which is pretty smart from Roy. If you mash crouch as you go up that lift, you go to a lower peak height, so you hit the floor earlier, giving you more options earlier. As opposed to going up normally, you're way up in the air and you're an easy target. So smart from Roy. He actually tricks Fantasy too. Fantasy looks up, thinking he's gonna climb up with him, but he doesn't, and then Fantasy's reaction, flawless, dude. Just a tiny flick of the right stick, downward, takes him out with a headshot, and then without hesitation, immediately looks over to training, a great location to predict the second kill, and then just fires a shot just cuz. I guess if Lunchbox was there, he would have got world start, but at this point, it's 18 seconds left in the clock, 18 to 14. He could put his controller down, take a sip of Red Bull, and just think about the next game. Like, it's over, but he is out for blood, and watch this. Another key to success in this situation, he's got Gabriel over on Sword. The main areas that he's focused on is either on training or over on Green Hall. So what does he do? He looks back and forth, efficiently scanning between both locations. No up and down on the right stick, just left and right, back and forth, only looking exactly where he needs to look. No extra movements on the right stick, just a nice little flick left and right to the most crucial areas until he finally lands back on training, probably hearing a call out from Gabriel. And then look at this beautiful flick shot, just lining it up perfectly, timing that perfectly too, recognizing where the player is relative to where the reticle is, and a confident click in that right stick with a tiny flick to the left, and just beautiful headshot. This next one, I love the follow through. The most crucial locations in this situation, he's got Long Hall or Green Hall. As he falls here, taking advantage of his momentum, noticing Roy, lets himself fall into the headshot and pretty much just clicks the right stick and fires the trigger. Barely moves that right stick, he lands the headshot. Sometimes the sniper's not even necessary. I mean, just give Demon D a BR in a tight corridor, he'll make it work.
This year or not, after that camo
Oh,
moment, and
undoubtedly.
the sniper, whether that's hit them mentally or not, it's hit them certainly on the scoreboard. That's 18 to 13, but they're slowly piecing these kills together, and a double from Demon D would be huge. He does pick it up. Now it's just a 4-kill game.
Such efficient use of positioning and wall cover in this corridor here. He'll back up the ramp, he'll lead into this fight with a nade, and then push up, noticing Gabriel, fires the first shot here, and then immediately backing down behind the wall. You'll see he over flicks with the right stick, but watch the correction, brings it back out front so that he leads out with the challenge with his reticle ready. He can fire another shot just using the cover to his advantage. He does not need to move from this position. He has high ground, he's in an advantageous position, and he's taking that to his advantage. And I love this part right here. He knows that he's up shots. He knows that Gabriel's in a disadvantageous position, so he just waits. He's going to wait for a second and encourage Gabriel to do something. Is he going to toss a nade? Is he going to reload? Is he going to try to run away? That wait can be pretty scary for the guy, on top of the fact that he jump challenges at the perfect timing. Gabriel's not ready for it, lands the headshot, and it just happens to be the moment that Fantasy tries to challenge. If he jumped any later, he would have been dead. So crazy that he managed to get that tight timing there. Backs up with the nade. Fantasy actually throws a panic nade, I would say. Like, Fantasy should know that he's super weak. He did not need to toss this nade out. He could have finished him with a headshot. That panic nade is going to cost him because Demon D gets to throw a second nade and then finish him off with a headshot for the kill. Just a beautiful double overall.
Kind of when everything started to
Check out
unravel
the
and fall
patience
apart.
on this. Patience on this. He just waits that extra little second, waits for Gabriel to get that jump out first, and then just gets the grenades on Fantasy and the shots.
And sure, 2v1s are cool, but the best way to get the W is with effective teamwork. Gabriel and Fantasy give us a textbook demonstration on how that's done. Check it out.
All right, even in a situation where I'm stuck, I can trade for a melee, basically get a guaranteed kill, and even though they might not get the deficit or, go for 2 for 0 or whatever, they're fine. They're totally fine going 1 for 1 the rest of this game, just closing it out if they have to.
Yep, seen some great screen watching there from Gabriel as well, as he'll get that double.
Just those shifty eyes. You see that?
Oh, I see it. Making it look way too easy. They're only 2 kills away from closing out game number 1 Heretic. Really good shots there. And
such efficient gameplay and teamwork here, taking advantage of something you can only do in a LAN environment, and that's screen watching your teammate. As Gabriel pushes up, he'll toss a nade. That'll take out Triant, and then Halogan, in an attempt to escape, will go under the base. Both Fantasy and Gabriel will chase, and they make a smart decision to split their resources here. Fantasy is currently 1 shot. He knows it would be inefficient to help Gabriel challenge the same lane. Instead, he's going to swap lanes out to the front of the base so they can take 2 different angles to pinch for this attack. Gabriel, with the smart movement as well, he'll drop, toss a nade, and keep the wall cover beside him to his left close. He's not going to push down to the bottom of the base. He's going to stay passive, especially because Triant has just spawned up with team influence spawns. So really efficient use of the wall cover here, peeking in and out. He times his jump and the final headshot perfectly to get that shot, and then reloads in such efficient use of his time out of the battle here. This is the perfect time to watch your teammates screen. You can see it right there from Gabriel. He's watching Fantasy, waiting for Fantasy to go in for the challenge, and the moment that happens, drops down, collapses with him. There's nothing Triant can do. It's a lost cause. Immediately, when you take out the kills in the bottom of 1 base, you're flipping spawns to the opposite side. So without hesitation, Gabriel will go up to pink 3. He actually does multiple jumps to get up here quickly. Jump, and then jump and jump. There's 3 separate jumps that you'll see right here. Jump, jump, and then crouch jump for the last one with his reticle placed immediately in the battle with Halogan. He can back him down. Meanwhile, Fantasy is pushing through pink 1, and his objective is to get back out to the front of the base and keep them trapped in the exact same situation once again. And of course, Fantasy has options like this box to immediately get up to the top of the base to chase them if they try to go off the lift. It's perfect coverage, and that's exactly what you're going to see as they push up here, fire some nice shots into Triant as he drops backwards once again, screen watching. Any opportunity that he is out of the fight, he's got to reload, he's got to continue to progress on the map with cover. He can also look at his teammate's screen, make sure things are well coordinated. So this is the perfect time to do it. He's now pushing up with his teammate, and the same situation repeats itself. He starts by jumping onto this beam, a great place to stand and just listen and decide whether or not you want to challenge the top of the base or immediately drop down to the bottom of the base. In this instance, he knows Fantasy is jumping up top to finish off Triant. All he has to do is go down to the bottom, and even with the sloppy shots, if the teamwork is that good, it's just game over.
He can look on over, see exactly where his teammates at, and see exactly where the opponents are at.
Yep.
I think that's the massive difference.
But of course, the best teamwork came from Trippy and Penguin, who won Grand Finals in dominating fashion. And in the interest of time, I might need to revisit this series at a later date for a future video. So we'll leave it as a tease for now. And with that said, there's a few breakdowns on just some of my favorite plays at Redbull Rise Till Dawn. I'd like to give a big shout out to Single Halo Clips as well. They've compiled all the best highlights from this event into one video, and I used a lot of those as inspiration for my breakdown. So check out the link below. You can click that, hit subscribe. They put up highlights on a regular basis, amazing highlights, and you can feel free to check that out as well. That'll close our video for today. What did you guys think? What were your favorite plays at Redbull Rise Till Dawn? What do you think of that weird weapon idea that I brought up in the middle of the video as well? And I'll see you guys around soon. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell beside the subscribe button. Have a good night.